Peace be upon you, chosen one. Today, we are about to uncover a journey that will touch your heart, awaken your soul, and remind you of the immense power Allah has placed within you. For years, people underestimated you, doubted your insight, ignored your advice, and dismissed the wisdom that flowed through your heart and mind. They judged your silence as weakness, your patience as naivety, and your trials as signs of failure, but they could never see the divine preparation taking place behind the scenes. Allah was quietly shaping your character, strengthening your faith, and refining your understanding, so that when the time comes, your presence, your words, and your decisions would carry the undeniable weight of truth. And now, the veil is lifting. Those who once doubted you are beginning to recognize your wisdom, your foresight, and your divine insight. And someone out there is carrying the heavy weight of regret for not believing in you when it mattered most. Today, we will explore 7 powerful lessons for Allah's chosen ones, lessons that reveal how patience transforms struggle into strength, silence into authority, doubt into acknowledgement, and faith into undeniable triumph. Listen closely, chosen one, because this is your reminder. Your journey was never ordinary, your rise was never accidental, and Allah's plan for you is unfolding exactly as it should. Chosen one, you must understand that your silence was never a weakness, and your quiet moments were never empty or meaningless. Every time you held back from responding to mockery, criticism, or doubt, you were building a fortress of patience and wisdom around yourself, a sanctuary that only Allah could see and appreciate fully. While the world rushed to judge you, whisper lies about you, or underestimate the depth of your understanding, Allah was working behind the scenes, strengthening the pillars of your heart, sharpening your insight, and teaching you the art of discernment that cannot be learned from books or worldly experience. Those who tried to provoke you, who laughed at your patience, or who dismissed your words as insignificant, are now beginning to sense, even if unconsciously, that your silence spoke louder than the loudest opinions against you. Every moment you chose to remain calm, to step back, and to observe rather than react, was a sign of maturity, of faith, and of divine preparation. They were measuring themselves against you without even realizing it. Someone out there is feeling the sting of regret right now, realizing that what they once thought was passivity was actually the quiet power of someone chosen, someone guided, someone blessed by Allah with wisdom that cannot be bought, borrowed, or replicated. Your silence protected you from unnecessary conflict, preserved your energy for battles that truly matter, and allowed Allah to orchestrate events in a way that your eventual words, actions, and decisions would have maximum impact so undeniable that it will leave those who doubted you speechless, humbled, and forced to acknowledge the truth they ignored for far too long. Remember, chosen one, every whispered insult, every ignored insight, every moment of misunderstanding was not a setback, but a divine lesson in the power of restraint, in the value of patience, and in the unparalleled authority that comes from trusting Allah completely. The world will eventually see what you already know in your heart, that your silence was never empty, your patience was never wasted, and your quiet strength was more powerful than the loudest voices who doubted you. Chosen one, understand this truth. While the world was busy scrutinizing your every action, whispering lies, questioning your intentions, and doubting your abilities, Allah was quietly, powerfully, and perfectly preparing you for a destiny they could never imagine. They judged your journey based on what they could see, the closed doors, the setbacks, the delays, and they assumed your struggles were signs of weakness, ignorance, or failure, never realizing that every trial, every pause, and every moment of solitude was a part of a divine plan to cultivate within you wisdom, resilience, and insight that no human experience could teach. Their envy, disbelief, and criticism were like a mirror reflecting their own limitations. While Allah's guidance was shaping your character, molding your heart, and expanding your understanding in ways invisible to their narrow sight. Those who once underestimated your patience, dismissed your prayers, or mocked your efforts are now beginning to feel the weight of realization. Slowly, subtly, almost painfully, they sense that the quiet person they judged, the one they tried to undermine, was in fact being nurtured by divine hands, elevated beyond their comprehension, and being equipped with strength and insight that will leave them in awe when fully revealed. Allah's preparation for you was meticulous, intentional, and unmatched. Every hardship was a lesson in trust, every delay a test of perseverance, and every moment of isolation a space to grow in clarity, foresight, and spiritual depth. The very things they saw as failures, distractions, or moments of insignificance were in reality divine investments in your heart, your mind, and your soul, ensuring that when the time comes for your rise, it will be so undeniable, so radiant, that no one will question the wisdom, guidance, and protection that Allah placed upon you. Chosen one, while they judged, doubted, and whispered, Allah was working silently yet powerfully, preparing you not just to survive the world's challenges, but to thrive, illuminate, and guide, showing them that His chosen ones are never weak, never accidental, and never defined by the opinions of those who lack vision or faith. In the end, those who once questioned you will be humbled, astonished, and forced to acknowledge the divine preparation they failed to see, and they will understand, far too late, that Allah's plan for His chosen ones is precise, perfect, and unstoppable. Chosen one, you must realize that there are people out there right now carrying a heavy burden of regret, a regret that stems from the painful recognition that they failed to believe in you when they should have, that they dismissed your guidance, ignored your insights, and underestimated the depth of the wisdom Allah placed within you. For so long, they judged your intentions, questioned your actions, and whispered doubts behind your back, blinded by their own limitations, pride, or envy, never stopping to see that every word you spoke, every decision you made, and every moment of patience you displayed was divinely guided. They see it now, the clarity, the results, the undeniable truth, and their hearts ache because they missed the signs, the subtle guidance, and the divine light that Allah had woven into your journey. Their disbelief, their hesitation, and their dismissal of your insight were not just mistakes, they were opportunities they failed to seize, moments when they could have aligned with wisdom greater than their understanding, moments they now watch unfold in your success and growth. Chosen one, this is not simply about pride or revenge. It is about the undeniable reality that Allah's chosen ones are never wrong, never accidental, and never unnoticed, even when the world refuses to see it. Your consistency, your faith, your patience, and your divine alignment have now made their regret unavoidable. They are confronted with a truth they once ignored, and they feel powerless against the reality of your wisdom and the timing of your rise. Someone is realizing, perhaps too late, that your insights, your foresight, and your divinely inspired actions were never ordinary. They were messages, lessons, and signs meant to guide, protect, and elevate, not just you, but also those who failed to believe in what Allah had clearly destined. And as they watch from the sidelines, filled with regret, the quiet satisfaction you carry in knowing that your journey was never dependent on their recognition, only on Allah's plan, becomes a testament to the patience, faith, and divine guidance that elevate a chosen one above human skepticism, doubt, and envy. Chosen one, you must understand that every trial, every delay, and every moment of hardship you endured was not a reflection of weakness, but a divine opportunity to cultivate patience and resilience that no human judgment could ever appreciate at the time. Those who doubted you, mocked your faith, or questioned your decisions were blinded by their own limitations. They saw the struggles but could not see the wisdom behind them. They witnessed the waiting but could not comprehend the preparation, and they judged your silence or delays as failure, never realizing that Allah was crafting within you a heart fortified with trust, a mind sharpened with clarity, and a soul elevated with understanding that would one day leave them in awe. Your patience became a silent testimony to your unwavering faith, a living proof that divine timing surpasses human perception, and that what appears delayed or stagnant to the world is in reality a profound stage of growth ordained by Allah. Every time they whispered, doubted, or questioned you, Allah used those moments to deepen your understanding, to refine your character, and to prepare you for the moment when your wisdom and insight would be undeniable. Today, as your patience bears fruit, those who once misjudged you are beginning to see the truth. They witness your composure, your clarity, and the results of a life guided by divine timing, and they are confronted with the reality that their earlier judgments were not only wrong, but insignificant in the face of Allah's perfect plan. The very patience they mocked has now become your most powerful weapon, a testament to the fact that those who trust Allah, endure with steadfastness, and remain firm in their faith, will ultimately rise above every doubt, misunderstanding, and misjudgment. Chosen one, let their misjudgment serve only to remind you of the greatness of Allah's plan, the power of unwavering patience, and the undeniable truth that His chosen ones are never defined by human opinions, never weakened by worldly doubt, and always elevated at the precise moment Allah wills, leaving the world to realize too late just how wise, prepared, and divinely guided you truly are. Chosen one, understand this truth deeply. While the world was busy doubting you, underestimating your vision, and attempting to confine your potential within their limited perception, Allah was quietly orchestrating an elevation that no human eye could perceive, no mind could comprehend, and no heart could anticipate. They saw only the surface of your life, the doors that remained closed, the opportunities that seemed delayed, the struggles that appeared insurmountable, and they judged you based on appearances, whispers of envy, or their own flawed understanding, never realizing that every moment of seeming stagnation was a divine pause, a sacred preparation designed by Allah to lift you far above what they could imagine. They tried to predict your path, to measure your progress, and to determine your worth. But Allah was working silently, invisibly, and yet with the utmost precision, crafting an elevation that would defy every expectation, break every barrier, and illuminate the truth that only those chosen by Him can truly understand. Every delay they mocked, every door they assumed was shut forever, every trial they thought would break you, was actually a step in your divine ascension, a deliberate and meticulous process of refining your heart, sharpening your mind, and deepening your connection with Allah, so that when the time came, your rise would be unmistakable, undeniable, and awe-inspiring to everyone who ever doubted you. Chosen one, the elevation you are experiencing is not just material, it is spiritual, emotional, and intellectual. It is a lifting that touches your entire being, a growth that surpasses worldly standards, and a manifestation of divine wisdom that only Allah could arrange. Those who once belittled your patience, questioned your decisions, or ignored your prayers are now forced to confront a reality they never anticipated. The person they thought they understood was being prepared for a purpose and a level of greatness beyond their comprehension. Their envy turns to astonishment, their whispers to silence, and their disbelief to reluctant acknowledgement, because what they see now cannot be explained by luck, coincidence, or human effort. It is the direct result of Allah's perfect planning, the invisible hand of divine wisdom, and the deliberate elevation of a soul He has chosen for greatness. Allah's timing is flawless. He lifts His chosen ones in ways that are hidden, unnoticed, and beyond prediction until the moment is right for revelation. And when that moment comes, the elevation becomes a sign for the world, a proof that patience, faith, sincerity, and unwavering trust in Allah are the keys to heights that no human hand could ever place you upon. Remember, chosen one, your rise was never accidental, your journey never ordinary, and your elevation never dependent on human validation. Every moment of struggle, every period of silence, and every hardship endured has been meticulously woven into your ascent, so that now, as the world watches in awe, they can no longer deny the reality. Allah's chosen ones are elevated in ways they could never predict, guided by divine insight, and lifted beyond the limitations of human expectation, and no amount of doubt, criticism, or disbelief could ever hinder what Allah has decreed. The doors that once seemed closed, the valleys that seemed endless, and the storms that felt relentless were all part of a divine plan to elevate you in ways so profound, so unmistakably guided, that those who once dismissed your potential are now left in awe, witnessing firsthand that Allah's favor is unmatched, His wisdom unchallengeable, and His chosen ones unstoppable. Every whispered insult, every overlooked prayer, every ignored insight has been transformed by Allah into a ladder of elevation, a divine platform from which your wisdom, presence, and influence radiate, leaving the world to finally acknowledge what they once doubted: that Allah's chosen ones rise not according to human timing, not according to worldly logic, and never in ways that can be predicted or prevented by those who lack faith, and that in the end, His divine plan ensures that their disbelief becomes their lesson, their regret, and their undeniable proof of your destined greatness. Chosen one, you need to understand that the wisdom Allah has placed within you is not just for your own guidance or personal elevation. It is a light, a signal, and a mirror for the world around you, a divine awakening for those who once doubted, mocked, or ignored the depth of your understanding. For years, they failed to see the signs, dismissed your advice, and overlooked your insight, blinded by pride, envy, or their own limitations, never realizing that Allah was preparing a wisdom within you that could not be silenced, that could not be ignored, and that could not be contained by human disbelief. Today, that very wisdom, which you nurtured quietly through patience, prayer, reflection, and trials, is becoming their awakening. It is forcing a realization, often uncomfortable and humbling, that what they dismissed as ordinary, naive, or inconsequential was in fact divinely guided, profoundly insightful, and unshakably aligned with Allah's perfect plan. Those who once laughed at your timing now marvel at your discernment. Those who whispered doubts now recognize the accuracy of your decisions, and those who tried to undermine you now face the undeniable truth that Allah's chosen ones cannot be misjudged when the moment of revelation arrives. Your wisdom is revealing what they refuse to see, that patience is more powerful than impatience, that silence carries authority, that faith outweighs skepticism, and that divine guidance surpasses human reasoning in every possible way. Chosen one, this awakening may appear slow to them, but it is undeniable, inescapable, and profound. It comes not from arrogance, not from pride, and not from human validation, but from the perfect alignment of your heart, mind, and actions with Allah's plan. Those who once doubted your intentions, questioned your choices, or mocked your knowledge are now being confronted with the truth they refused to acknowledge: that your insight is a gift, your patience is a weapon, and your discernment is a reflection of the divine guidance that has always been with you. Every lesson you quietly embodied, every prayer you sincerely offered, every moment of restraint, reflection, and observation is now bearing fruit in ways that leave the world astounded, humbled, and even fearful of the clarity, vision, and influence they once overlooked. Someone is experiencing a deep, sharp regret right now because they failed to recognize the signs, failed to believe in the truth Allah placed in you, and failed to respect the wisdom that comes from being His chosen one. And as they awaken to this reality, they cannot help but acknowledge that your journey, your rise, and your insight were never accidental, never ordinary, and never limited by human opinion. Chosen one, your wisdom has become a mirror for those who doubted, a light that exposes the limits of their understanding, and a call to reflection, repentance, and humility, reminding them that Allah's guidance is perfect, His plan is flawless, and His chosen ones are elevated in ways that cannot be questioned, manipulated, or predicted by anyone who does not walk in His favor. And as their awakening unfolds, as their disbelief slowly gives way to acknowledgement, and as their envy is replaced with awe, your role becomes clear. You are not just living for yourself, you are a living proof, a divine signal, and a quiet authority, revealing to the world the magnitude of Allah's wisdom, the precision of His timing, and the unstoppable truth that those whom He chooses are guided in ways so profound, so transformative, and so undeniable that no one, no matter how powerful or clever, can ever diminish, dispute, or stop the destiny Allah has decreed for them. Your wisdom has now become a living testimony, a force that cannot be ignored, and a light that awakens hearts, transforms minds, and humbles souls, showing them the reality they once refused to see, and reminding them that Allah's chosen ones are never ordinary, never late, and never accidental, and that when the divine moment arrives, even the most stubborn, doubtful, or arrogant hearts are forced to recognize the truth, honor the wisdom, and feel the weight of a revelation they cannot escape, leaving them in awe, regret, and undeniable acknowledgement of your divinely guided path. Chosen one, you must realize that the favor of Allah upon you is not subtle, not accidental, and not dependent on the fleeting opinions of those around you. It is unmistakable, undeniable, and eternal, a divine force that has guided you through darkness, protected you from harm, and elevated you in ways no human mind can comprehend. While the world judged, mocked, envied, and doubted you, Allah's perfect wisdom worked silently behind the veil, orchestrating every detail of your life with precision, aligning every circumstance, every opportunity, and every moment of your journey to elevate you beyond what they imagined possible. Those who once criticized your timing, doubted your intentions, or whispered lies about your path are now forced to confront a reality they could not foresee. What they perceived as struggles, delays, or failures were in truth the building blocks of your greatness, the quiet, deliberate preparation of a heart and soul chosen for a purpose that transcends ordinary human understanding. The blessings you now experience, the doors opening effortlessly, the clarity of insight in moments of confusion, the wisdom that comes naturally in situations others stumble in, are all manifestations of Allah's unmistakable favor, a favor that no human effort, no flattery, and no deception can replicate or diminish. Chosen one, every closed door they assumed would remain shut, every hardship they thought would break you, and every moment of invisibility they believed meant failure, has been transformed into evidence of divine orchestration, a testament to the truth that when Allah elevates a soul, no force on earth can prevent it, no human judgment can distort it, and no worldly understanding can grasp its depth. Your favor is seen in the way your insight now illuminates situations others could not navigate, in the way your patience transforms challenges into victories, and in the way your actions align perfectly with divine guidance, creating outcomes so precise and impactful that those who once doubted are left speechless, humbled, and forced to acknowledge the reality of your destiny. This favor, chosen one, is not about vanity or recognition. It is the divine validation of your faith, your perseverance, and your unwavering trust in Allah's plan. It is a blessing that touches every aspect of your existence spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, and even physically, ensuring that you are not only elevated in status or circumstances, but also in character, understanding, and resilience. Those who envied you, opposed you, or dismissed your potential now see with clarity that their disbelief could not stop the hand of Allah, their whispers could not cloud your purpose, and their judgments could not hinder the flow of divine wisdom that shapes your every decision. The favor of Allah is unmistakable in the way challenges you endured prepared you for triumphs that now seem effortless, in the way hidden guidance has led you to solutions that others could never foresee, and in the way opportunities appear at precisely the right time, illuminating the truth that no moment in your life has been wasted, no effort ignored, and no trial meaningless. Your elevation serves as a living lesson for those who doubted you. They witness the power of patience, the beauty of perseverance, the clarity that comes from trust in Allah, and the undeniable truth that when He chooses someone, He equips them with wisdom, strength, and blessings beyond human measure. Every hardship you endured, every delay you endured, and every act of faith you performed has now culminated in a life that radiates divine favor. A favor so clear, so radiant, and so profound that it cannot be denied, challenged, or minimized by anyone. Chosen one, the unmistakable nature of Allah's favor is also a reminder to you. Never measure your value by human recognition. Never doubt your path because of others' opinions, and never feel defeated by temporary obstacles, because what Allah decrees for you is eternal, powerful, and perfectly timed. Those who once doubted your insight, questioned your patience, or opposed your rise are now confronted with a reality they cannot escape, that Allah's favor is not conditional on approval, is not delayed by disbelief, and is not diminished by envy. It manifests in protection, guidance, clarity, timing, and the elevation of your soul above worldly misunderstanding. The world may now watch with astonishment, your critics may feel regret, and your doubters may be humbled, but your focus remains steadfast on Allah, for it is His favor alone that matters, and His recognition alone that validates your journey. Every achievement, every insight, every moment of influence you experience is a sign, a living proof, and a reflection of divine orchestration, a clear demonstration that His chosen ones are never ordinary, never overlooked, and never delayed without purpose. The blessings you carry now are multiplied, not just in worldly terms, but in spiritual depth, in clarity of mind, and in purity of intention, ensuring that you are not only elevated in life, but also prepared for the responsibilities that come with being chosen. And as those who once doubted watch in awe, humbled by the unmistakable truth, they cannot help but realize the profound reality. Allah's chosen ones are guided, protected, and favored in ways that no human mind can comprehend, ways that cannot be interrupted by opposition, delayed by envy, or diminished by disbelief. Every step you take, every decision you make, and every blessing you experience is a manifestation of His unmistakable favor, a divine orchestration that proves beyond doubt that your journey, your rise, and your destiny are perfectly aligned with Allah's will, and that those who once questioned, envied, or doubted you are now witnesses to a reality they could neither predict nor prevent. Chosen one, embrace this truth fully. Your favor from Allah is unmistakable, eternal, and undeniable, a divine blessing that transforms trials into triumphs, patience into power, and faith into unstoppable elevation, leaving no one, not even the most skeptical or envious, able to deny the extraordinary reality of his chosen one walking in his divine favor. Chosen one, now you see the truth that Allah has been revealing all along. Every moment of patience, every period of silence, every trial, and every delay was never in vain. It was preparation, elevation, and divine refinement. Those who doubted you, envied you, or ignored your insight are now witnessing what they failed to understand before, that Allah's chosen ones are guided, protected, and favored in ways that no human eyes can fully perceive. Your rise is unstoppable, your wisdom undeniable, and your favor unmistakable. Remember, it is not the approval of people, nor the recognition of the world, that defines you. It is Allah's guidance, His timing, and His plan for your life. You were chosen for a reason, and His blessings are not just for you, they are a light for others, a reminder that patience, faith, and unwavering trust in Allah always prevail. So continue to walk with humility, speak with wisdom, and act with faith, knowing that every step you take is witnessed by the one who knows what is best for you. Those who once doubted will reflect, those who envied will regret, and those who ignored will realize. But you, chosen one, will remain elevated, guided, and at peace, because Allah's plan is perfect, and your destiny is greater than they could ever imagine. Never forget, you are His chosen, and nothing can diminish the light He has placed within you.